The NBA isn't ready for what this team just built, and everyone was worried when the Hornets blew up its core while the rest of the NBA was focused on superstar headlines and blockbuster moves. One franchise quietly reshaped its future seemingly overnight. The familiar faces are gone, but the new foundation might be stronger than anyone realizes. And when moves work, this won't just be one of the most underrated off seasons in basketball. It could be the moment an emerging contender was born. Welcome to Hornets Digest. I'm Jeff Testanero. I invite all of you to like, comment, subscribe, get them numbers up, get them numbers going. I appreciate all of you for jumping in to try to make this the number one Hornets anywhere and everywhere. The Hornets, well, they may have made one of the most controversial decisions of the NBA offseason, moving on from franchise star LaMelo Ball. But according to Bleacher Report's Grant Hughes, the Hornets didn't just survive that move, they may have emerged as one of the league's biggest winners and being named one of the 5 NBA teams that quietly crushed the 2026 offseason. When you look beyond the headlines, it's kind of easy to see why the Hornets are looking pretty good despite trading some big name players. Oh, the Hornets completely reshaped its roster, and all of you are really still kind of mad about it. The Hornets shipped Ball and Josh Green to Minnesota for Naz Reid, then moved on from Miles Bridges, moving him to Phoenix in exchange for Grayson Waller and Royce O'Neal. They also added Dorian Finney-Smith, re-signed Coby White, and drafted 2 first-round talents in Heinz Steinbach and Christian Anderson Jr. But the biggest story isn't who left, it's who will now lead this team into the future. And it all starts with one guy. He's a big guy. He's a great player. It all starts with Brandon Miller. Last season, Miller averaged 20.2 points, 4.9 rebounds, and 3.3 assists per game, continuing his rise as one of the NBA's brightest young producers and stars. What makes Miller special isn't simply the scoring, but it's also his 6'9" frame. He can create his own shot, stretch defenses, attack closeouts, and guard multiple positions all at the same time. This guy is absolutely amazing. You know it, and I know it, and his future is great. With LaMelo Ball gone, Miller is no longer sharing that spotlight. He's actually going to become the focal point of it. Brandon Miller could be the biggest beneficiary of this offseason. When defenses had to count for Ball's high usage, Miller was often the secondary option. Now he's clearly the number one option. We're talking about a player who already surpassed 20 points a game at the age of 23. The next step is becoming the all-star that he is intended to be. Scoring, consistent 24 to 26 point range. There's no doubt that Brandon Miller is on the all-star future roster and radar. The lineup totally fits around him. Coby White can handle playmaking duties. Allen or Finney-Smith, when they come off the bench, gives him some spacing. Naz Reid brings a completely different offensive dimension to the front court. Everything is designed to give Miller room to operate, and operate he will. The future is bright for this kid in the NBA and in Charlotte. Another player set to benefit from Charlotte's offseason makeover is guard Coby White. The Hornets made it a priority to bring White back, and it's not really hard to understand why. After establishing himself as one of the league's most dynamic scoring guards, White gives Charlotte something every young team needs: stability in the backcourt. And he does all of that. With LaMelo Ball gone, Coby White becomes the engine that makes the offense go. He's capable of handling lead guard duties, creating his own shot, and taking pressure off Brandon Miller when defenses start to load up. White is coming off another productive season in which he averaged approximately 18.7 points, 5.8 assists, and 4.2 rebounds per game, showcasing the scoring punch and playmaking ability Charlotte needs from its point guard. His speed and transition and improved decision making makes him an ideal fit for Charles Lee's lineup tempo. He's fast, he's quick, he's got great hands. What's great about White's fit is that he doesn't need the ball in his hands every possession. He can run the offense, but he can also play off ball alongside Miller, Knipple, because he's become a legitimate 3-point threat. The versatility gives Charlotte multiple ways to attack defenses. And don't underestimate the chemistry he's going to develop with Naz Reid. Imagine defenders trying to navigate a pick and pop with Reid spacing beyond the arc while White attacks going downhill. This is a difficult action to defend. If White continues producing at an 18 to 20 point level while increasing his playmaking responsibilities, he could have one of the best seasons of his career. With Brandon Miller emerging as franchise star and Naz Reid bringing a new dimension to the front court, Coby White could be the player that ties it all together. The Hornets are counting on him to be a veteran leader, primary facilitator, and steady hand for the NBA's most promising young core. The future is totally bright for this guy. I'm excited for him. I'm excited to see what he can do. He's going to be great. Now, speaking of Naz Reid, he might be the most important acquisition of Charlotte's offseason. For years, Reid was one of the NBA's most productive reserves in Minnesota. Now, for the first time in his career, he'll have the opportunity to be an everyday starter. This is where Charlotte has hit the home run. Naz Reid just isn't a center. He's a matchup nightmare for teams. At nearly 7 feet tall, Reid can score at all three levels. He can stretch the floor, he can attack off dribble, he can punish smaller defenses inside, and because his legit perimeter threat, opposing big men can't simply camp in the paint anymore. That matters because it opens the floor for everyone else. Miller gets cleaner driving lanes. Knipple gets more open looks for three. And Coby White has more room to operate in pick and roll situations. Now imagine a power forward of Reid's size plus Diabate coming in and potentially playing center, or flip-flop Reid and Diabate. What are teams going to do? Nothing. This is a scary moment for other teams who have to play against Charlotte. Charlotte is expecting starting five to head into the season, including Coby White, Brandon Miller, Knipple, Naz Reid, Moussa Diabate, a lineup that balances shooting, size, versatility, athleticism. It's all right there, and it's all good to go in Charlotte. Don't overlook Knipple. The rookie sensation averaged 18.5 points, 5.3 rebounds, and 3.4 assists while shooting 42.5% from three-point range, 47.5% from the field, and 86.3% from the free throw line. And he led the NBA made three-pointers. You win with free throws. 86.3% is awesome. Between Knipple's shooting, Miller's shot creation, White's scoring punch, and Reid's versatility, Charlotte suddenly has one of the most balanced young cores in the Eastern Conference, and they're going to have to be. Throw Diabate in there for his size and versatility. Good luck. For years, the Hornets were searching for an identity. They have one. They're longer, they're tougher, they're deeper, and most importantly, they have players whose game complements one another. Charlotte missed the playoffs by just one game a season ago. Now, after one of the NBA's most aggressive and strategic off seasons, expectations are changing. The spotlight is no longer just LaMelo Ball. Instead, it belongs to the new era of Brandon Miller, Concanipo, Naz Reid, Coby White, and Moussa Diabate. And if the upward trajectory, the Hornets may not just be one of the offseason's biggest winners, they could be one of the Eastern Conference's biggest surprises. And they're going to have to be with the way other teams like Philly are loading up. The rebuild phase is over. The playoff push begins now. It's been a long time, Charlotte. I've got a good feeling about this season with these guys coming in, the way these guys are going to complement each other. It's going to be a good season. If anything else comes down, I will jump on here and let you know. Until then, for Hornets Digest, I'm Jeff Testanero. Let's go Hornets.